Hey guys, so today we got our first release of the NHL HUT All-Stars event. Again, obviously without the real thing happening, they had to come up with a different format, and I hope you guys enjoyed the HUT All-Stars tournament yesterday that I was graciously allowed to host with my man Paul Bissonnette. It was awesome. If you guys didn't see it, go back and watch the VOD. It's on EA Sports NHL's Twitch channel. That being said, we did get the All-Stars released, so we'll go through all of that as well as the sets and my thoughts on the event as a whole, as well as some things they did well in it, because there is one set that I think really saves a lot of, the overall look of the event. But regardless, guys, don't forget, this weekend, my code on G Fuel is boosted to 30% off. If you're looking to get yourself some G Fuel, maybe some replacements, or if you're looking to try it, now is the time to do it. Use code NOSLEEP, save yourself 30% off. All right, let's get into the video. All right, so right off the rip, you'll see these four All-Stars, represented early. So Dennis Savard, Shane Doan, Serge Savard, and Keith Tkachuk. And you can get these by gold collectibles as well as the All-Star collectibles from event objectives. So you see down on the banner there, play 23 games in HUT Rush, take 39 shots on goal, win 5 games by 8 goals in Rivals, Squad Battles, and HUT Champs. Then we got block 15 shots, score 29 goals, complete 5 sets, buy 5 items from the auction house, and earn 12 stars in challenges. So there is a wide variety, and again, kind of works like the NHL Moments event in terms of acquiring the objectives, and you'll see them down in here. You'll see the HUT All-Stars event. It's all tracked right there, and that will earn you HUT All-Stars collectibles. Moving on, though, and then we will take a look now at the actual cards. So the North Division was released, and it does look like they are doing it in pieces. So I tweeted out a little bit earlier in the day. If you didn't see it, follow me on Twitter at No Sleeves Gaming. And basically what will happen is today the North Division was released, March 29th. The West Division will be released, so that'll be Monday. And then a few days later, on the Friday, April 2nd, the East Division will be released. And then on the 5th, the Central Division will be released. And again, it all coincides with who everyone voted for. So as you see in this banner here, Connor McDavid was the center. The left wing was Johnny Gaudreau. Right wing was Mitch Marner. Left D was Morgan Riley. Right D was Tyson Barrie. And then Carey Price in net. I have a problem with a few of them, but I'm glad Mitch Marner and McDavid they were the right representatives. I voted for Tyson Barrie. I think he's having a really good season, but there was obviously some arguments there as well, but not stunning overall. I'm a little stunned at Carey Price, but I think that's just name value. We also got another upgrade set from the Ally of Freddy. I'll talk about that as well, as we've got to break down all the sets. But first, let's take a look at the actual cards. So this event, again, is a little bit confusing. They are trying some new things out. So we'll start with the 4 cards that you can get with the event collectibles as well as gold collectibles. We'll start with the 94 Keith Tkachuk, 2 to Barrage, 1 to Wingman, and 1 to Magician. This isn't a terrible card. Again, it is kind of tougher a landscape in this game to have the big, slow wingers. If you don't think that Mark Stone's very good, this card is not going to do it for you. 2 to Barrage is nice. Getting Wingman allows his acceleration to get up to 94. Then speed can get to 91 with Distributor, and I think this card really does benefit well from Magician. So overall, this is a nice card. You could almost use him on center as well with 88 faceoffs, but well-rounded for anyone that uses time on attack and controls the play well. This is going to be an all-right card, and he does hit a lot of synergies, so it's not terrible. Definitely one of the better ones in the release. Then we've got the 94 Serge Savard, 6'3", 210 left defenseman, 2 to Spark, 1 to Howitzer, and 1 to Shutdown. My opinion, no reason to go after this card. There's a lot of defensemen in that 94 range. That is a lot better. 6'3" is great size, and defensively he's amazing, and his shot is really good as well. But it's the skating. Like, you're gonna get absolutely toasted down the wings if you have someone who's got sub 90 speed, and his acceleration too is just very low at 87 overall. So while his skating, I think, is, it's just too low. I think 90 is kind of the cutoff. You're just going to get crushed by the guys that have, McDavid, Hughes, Matthews, any of the mid 90s speed guys. You will get kind of torched on. Everything else he's really good in, and he's kind of like a weaker version of the weaker version of Victor Hedman. He's just not nearly as big. Then we've got the 94 Dennis Savard, 5'10", 2 to Heart and Soul, 1 to Speedster, and 1 to Magician. Obviously, Heart and Soul kind of kills his value a little bit. However, he can get his acceleration to 90, speed can get to 94. His shot is phenomenal. Face-offs at 96. This is a valuable card. He is a very, very good center. I do like the centerman to be a little bit bigger, but it's not really going to be all that detrimental. Like, he has 89 body checking, which is nice. And if you have the other team synergies, this could be a really, really usable card. And then lastly, of these four, we've got the 94 Shane Doan with 2 to Distributor, Light the Lamp, and Workhorse. I like the synergy combo. It's just, again, a 6'1" winger with sub 90 speed. It's just the value isn't there. He's obviously defensively he's fine, but the bigger, slower wingers, they just don't have the same value. And again, for the great players of this game, you can use the bigger players because positioning well. But for the majority of the player base, you're going to struggle using these kinds of cards. So, in my opinion, just not worth the cost you got to put in. I think Dennis Savard would probably be the better selection, or Keith Tkachuk, really. So, one of those would be much farther up the list than the Shane Doan. We'll talk about the ally of Frady because you can upgrade him to the 94 or pack him. 2 to Distributor, 2 to Workhorse. Love the synergy combo, but can't stand the skating. Like, an 86 speed defenseman, just not really going to be useful for the majority of the player base. Like, he's big at 6'3", but I would much rather have Fowler or Hedman or OEL, Clefbaum. Like, it's just, it's very difficult to use a slow, lumbering skater, and especially with 90 deking, he's just going to play stiff. And then not to mention the cost to upgrade, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. All right, moving on to the All-Stars. We'll start off with the 90 Johnny Gaudreau. There is 2 options here, a lot like the old Blockbusters event, where you'll get 2 of the cards with different synergies to try and help you out of that synergy prison, which I do enjoy that aspect of it. This one specifically, 5'9", so obviously very, very small. Comes with 2 to Swarm, Passing Playmaker, and Wingman. His shot power is lower, quite low, at this stage of the game. And he can get up to 95 speed, 99 acceleration, and agility, which is awesome. Hand stats are all maxed. But he is a liability in his own zone. If you like Jack Hughes, this is basically the same card, just a lot less shooting in terms of the power, and he's got a little bit better endurance, obviously at 92 overall, but 78 body checking. Like, you're not bumping or getting the puck back off of anyone. So it's going to take a specific kind of player to want to use this card. The synergies are all over the place. 2 to Swarm is nice, but there's a lot of cards that have Swarm. Passing Playmaker is okay, and I think it is important on this card because his shot without it is just a little bit weaker. Same with Wingman, but not a bad option. Just, I think there's far better at this stage of the game. The other option for Johnny Gaudreau is 2 to Balanced, Howitzer, and Gladiator. I'd much rather have this one, in my opinion. Speed gets up to 98. Acceleration gets to 97. And then his power is obviously a lot higher with Howitzer activated, and Gladiator gets his body checking up a little bit. 2 to Balance, not a bad option either. I think a lot of cards have Swarm, so if you're looking to get balance, this helps out with that. I think this is the much more go-to option for Johnny Gaudreau. Then we've got the 91 Tyson Barrie, 2 to Swarm, Howitzer, and Shutdown. Obviously, a pretty decent skater. Gets up to 94 speed with Distributor, 93 acceleration. His shot is okay if you have Shutdown and Howitzer activated. And defensively, not bad either. I'm not a big fan of having small defensemen, to be honest with you. Like, he is going to be a decent skater at 94 speed, but I just think that there are better options. Not bad, but just not a huge fan of this one specifically. The other Tyson Barrie has 2 to Barrage, 1 to Light the Lamp, and 1 to Workhorse. Speed can only be 91 with this version. That's a hard pass in my opinion. If you're going to be a smaller defenseman, you need to be an elite skater, and this just doesn't do it. Is North Division defense partner on the All-Star team. We've got the Morgan Riley, 2 to Distributor, Gladiator, and Light the Lamp. I think that this is a pretty well-rounded card as well, but his slapshot accuracy is a little low at 88, but his speed's 94, acceleration can be 95 with Spark. Hand stats are all perfect. Defensively, he's great as well, and he's 6'1". This is a much better card in my opinion. But there's just a lot of other good cards around this overall range on the left-hand side. Like I said, the OEL, Clefbaum, Fowler, Hedman. It's a lot of good options, and, Distributor can be gotten so easily. So I'm not a huge fan of this one. Next, though, we've got the 94 Morgan Riley with Spark, Playmaker, and Shutdown. I like this one a little bit more because Shutdown can get body checking to 99. Slapshot accuracy gets up, so it improves his shot a lot more. And then speed still 94 overall with acceleration to 95. His hand stats are all great. Defensively, he's phenomenal as well. This would be the Morgan Riley that I would choose. Next up, we've got the 94 Carey Price. 6'3", doesn't have any impact in terms of the stat caps for being 6'3", but I'm just not a fan of this card. Like, aggression's 81, a little high. Swarm, Distributor, and Balance is like okay, but then Barrage, Heart and Soul with Spark is the other one. Like, there's just a burn synergy in either of these ones with Heart and Soul and Balance. So this would be a pass. I wouldn't invest in this Carey Price. Next, we finally got a great Mitch Marner card. He's one of my favorite players in the NHL, and there just never seems to be great Mitch Marner cards. But Spark, Light the Lamp, and Workhorse obviously make him pretty deadly, but he goes up against other top-end right-handed cards, and when you're ranking them all, he's just not very high on that list. Does have 95 speed, but there's just so many other better options just because he's not very big. The one thing I will say about Mitch Marner cards in the past is they play really weak. Like they get bumped off the puck for being 6 foot. I think it's because he's only 175, but this is an elite card. Don't get me wrong. And if you activate Spark, his body checking gets up to 89, which is great. Hand stats, shooting, everything else is 99. This is a really good card. His other counterpart has Distributor, Passing Playmaker, and Wingman. I probably would go the other route, but it doesn't really matter. His speed ends up being roughly the same anyways. I will say that the acceleration boost, but he gets it from Workhorse. So it's Workhorse or Wingman, and his accelerator, his wrist shot accuracy is already so high, so you're getting more out of Workhorse. So I'd probably rather have this one if we're being honest. So if you're looking for the Mitch Marner, I would go with the Spark, Light the Lamp, and Workhorse. Then we've got the 97 Connor McDavid, and obviously this is a hot button topic because of the 97 that just came out. I just made the 97 Master Set item for the last event. We'll talk about something they did here to help out players that did that, which I think was awesome, but we'll take a look at that in just a little bit. So Tutor Barrage, Gladiator, and Magician. The one thing I will say, putting Gladiator on a McDavid card is phenomenal because he's basically 99 in everything going into this. But Gladiator gives him a lot more body checking and strength, so it makes him that much better defensively. This is, again, going to be one of the best, if not the best cards in the game for the rest of the game. Adding Gladiator on this card makes him better than the 97 that the Master Set item. However, the 3 to each synergy makes the 97 that much better. But just in a vacuum, if we're talking the card, the Gladiator on this card bumps him up a little bit. The other option is Balanced, Light the Lamp, and Shutdown. And again, same kind of thing. Light the Lamp gets his balance up a little bit higher, but everything else is 99. And then Shutdown allows his body checking to get to 94 before synergies. So I think these two really, really make this card the best Connor McDavid you can make, basically. But it's going to depend on your other team-based synergies as well. But this is an elite one, no doubt. And it's going to be interesting when we talk about the set for Connor McDavid. But obviously, these are both phenomenal. All right, so now let's talk sets, and we'll talk my overall thoughts on this event. When it first came out, and still, to be honest, I'm pretty critical of this event. Obviously, as a game changer, I get to voice my opinion, but I'm not really impressed with this event at all. And I think it goes back to the fact that as the game goes along and we get better cards, obviously, the cost just becomes astronomical for anyone that doesn't spend a lot of money on the game. And I've voiced my opinion quite a bit on that. And I think what we saw with the Style Icons event, where we eventually got a free master item, should be a model they should follow. Whether the objectives take forever to complete, at least everyone will get a shot at a master item for an event. Now, I think that we do eventually run into the problem where everyone has the exact same team, which EA obviously wants to avoid. However, they've just protected the market and everything just way too much, in my opinion. I think it was a great job they've done a great job making sure the market doesn't crash at all. However, it's just at this point an absolute joke to think that we can invest this many icons and collectibles to make these guys when, if you're free to play and you can only play a few hours every week, there's no chance. So we'll break down all the sets and whatnot, and I think they did save some things in this event, but overall, just the prices are pretty astronomical. So we'll take a look through. The 50 gold players is still there for a collectible. Here's the thing. My biggest problem with these events is the random 94 overall all-star item, these kind of sets. You traded 18 gold collectibles. That's almost 1 million coins in value for a 94 overall card that you don't even get to decide. Like, no other game mode in an Ultimate Team mode has that, and I just don't think it's fair at all. Like, we'll talk about this in a little bit. Almost every single master item in this event, or if you want to call it master item, is far cheaper on the auction house, and in my opinion, if you're going after them, do not make any of these, okay? But this specifically is just, we talked about the 94, so the Savard, the Doan, Kachuk, and then Serge Savard. None of them are worth 800K. They're just not. So, or 900K, sorry. So just a hard pass on this one overall. Not a fan. And then we'll move on to this one. This is the North Division winners. So you traded 18 here, and you'll get a random North Division All-Star player item. If you trade in $900K in value, you don't get to select the All-Star winner. What happens if you get Carey Price? Or, the 90 Johnny Gaudreau? Sure, yeah, you get to go trade him. You can go sell him on the auction now. He's tradable. You earn that right. The amount of coins that you are losing in that is astronomical. And if you're going to get, the argument to that would be like, hey, but you could get Connor McDavid. Sure, that would be fantastic. But he's an endgame card anyways. So if you're gonna get him, might as well get him untradeable because there's no reason to move on from him. Not only that, you might not even get the card that you want because there is multiple cards of each All-Star winner with different synergies. Just a hard L on these sets, in my opinion. Not a fan of this one at all. Moving along, we'll go into the actual sets here. So it's 22 gold collectibles plus the Connor McDavid card to make the 297 Connor McDavids. If you didn't make the 97 from the last event, this is probably the only card that's technically worth it, and it's still well over $1 million. However, I'll say this: the Connor McDavid cards, the 297s, they're endgame, meaning that there's very few cards in this game that are worth over $1 million coins. The Team of the Year cards are one of them, as is this Connor McDavid, because I've used the 97. He's the fastest card in the game. I don't care if other cards have 99 speed. Connor McDavid's faster. So this is the only set that I would be like, okay, yeah, this is okay if you were to make this card if you did not get the 97 in the last event. Moving right along, we've got the 8 gold collectibles for Johnny Gaudreau. In what world is a 90 overall that has 78 body checkings, 5'9", worth $400K? I just don't see it. Like that's it's just not good value, guys. I try to do my best to make sure that I recommend you guys, because a lot of you guys don't have the time to go and research all this and know what is the right cards to go after. And that's my job as a content creator and basically an someone who tries to give you all your tips in HUT. To make sure you guys don't waste your coins. And that's a hard L on the value, and we'll talk about why in just a little bit. Mitch Marner, again, this would cost you this is 1 million coins plus Mitch Marner to get the 95 overalls. No chance. Not nearly worth it. Morgan Riley, this will cost you 15, which is about $750K. You can get Fowler for that price. Tyson Barrie, moving along, we've got 10. This is $500K. And again, we looked at his synergies and stats. He's not all that fast. For $500K, you can get Philip Myers. You can almost get Dougie Hamilton. Like, hard pass on that one. And then obviously, no gold. No 14 gold collectibles for a goalie that isn't a Noonan or Markstrom or Vasilevsky. No chance. So, guys, the only one I would recommend you guys doing. Obviously, if these are your favorite players, please make them. As I've said the whole time, and honestly, don't make them. Try to buy them, because again, we'll talk about the price in just a second, but the only one that even slightly makes sense is the Connor McDavid one, because he is worth 1 million coins. The double pack, again, make sure you do this regardless. The 2 gold collectibles for 75, save yourself 25 players. Obviously, that's super worth it. Moving along, we'll do the collectible sets. So this is for the 94. So if you do all the objectives, you can trade in 9 All-Star collectibles and get the All-Star high score pack. If you have no gold collectibles or intention of making them, then I guess, yeah, you can get that pack for free. But then we take a look at the 88s. So the 4 players that I showed you, Doan, Kachuk, and the 2 Savards, these are what these sets are for. So if you trade in 4 event collectibles and 2 gold collectibles, you can get an 88 overall card. And the only one that's worth it is the centerman, is Denis Savard. That is kind of worth it. For free-to-play players, it's not awful to get the 88s Denis Savard if you need a centerman for 2 gold collectibles, especially because you can do the 75 for 2. That's the only one of value. And then it just goes up higher and higher. So you could do 8 gold collectibles, and you'll get 6 event collectibles, and you can make the 91 version. You could also then move up and get the 94. I wouldn't recommend doing any of these unless you're free to play and you can get 2 collectibles. Make the 88 Savard. That one I think is of decent value. Moving along. So the 94 Ally of Freddy. Let's talk about this real quick. This is the Team Builder Ally of Freddy. So you have to make all of the Metro Division players, I believe. in the team builder sets to get this 90 Ally at Frady, and then 6 more collectibles to make the 94. This is just like crazy to me. You've already invested so much to get this card. Another 300k is just mind-boggling to me. And when you look at the 94 Ally of Frady, he's so slow. Like, it's just tough, man. I don't think this is a value. And I mean, I guess if you're a huge Capitals fan and a huge Ally of Frady fan, sure. But I think you can buy him for cheaper. So just not a fan of that one. And then here's the set that I really appreciate. If you went and got the 97 Connor McDavid, you trade this in, you will get this card as well as both 97 Connor McDavids, all untradeable for free. So you will get this card back. So I will be doing this. I have the 97 McDavid. That way it can help out all the time with synergies and whatnot. Like I said, individually, if you don't need Heart and Soul, Connor McDavid, everyone has Howitzer activated, and Thief might not be all that important for you, then the Gladiator or Shutdown Connor McDavid is probably a better option, and this set allows you to do that. So kudos to EA for this set. I really respect that. Because they're giving you this plus the 2 other McDavids, and I think without an extra cost. So I will give them kudos for this set, 100%. Right now, let's go take a look at the store and see if there's anything of value in the store today. So the HUT All-Stars Starter Pack, W1's untradeable, 70k, a gold collectible, and a guaranteed 83 overall item. In my opinion, there's no cards in this set that's worth making with a gold collectible. You're losing 20,000 coins, and the odds to actually pull something of value, just not there. This isn't a good value for you. I wouldn't recommend spending your coins. And I'm not going to lie, these packs are always rough, man. Like, it's mostly silvers. Throughout the year, guys, I've told you, like, when it comes to buying packs, anyone with Ovechkin on it is worth it. These ones specifically, the Jumbo Elite Players Pack is the closest thing to an ultimate pack you can buy. If you are going to spend coins, make sure it's these ones. Buy them until you can't if you have a ton of points, and then wait until tomorrow. Don't go and buy these. It's just not going to give you good value. So, guys, that is going to do it for the event info. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. And, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, boys.